It's our new least affordable city. No, not Auckland or Queenstown. We examine why Tauranga has become so expensive. Also, thousands of women march in protest on the one-year anniversary of Donald Trump's presidency.
This is what democracy looks like.
As women's rights also take centre stage at today's Screen Actors Guild Awards.
Let's make sure that we're leading the charge with empathy and with diligence.
And Lizette is working on that story right now. One News at 6. Tonight, fire investigation. What caused the fatal Dunedin blaze that's left 2 people dead? A neighbour tells One News how she helped save an elderly resident. Also tonight, military manoeuvres. Tanks and ground troops roll into Syria as Turkey shows off its firepower in a major attack on Kurdish rebels, sparking international tensions. And the happy couple, but has the Prime Minister slipped up? Did Jacinda Ardern reveal the baby's gender?
No, I did not. And I know in defending myself, we could get into a whole other conversation, but no, I didn't.
Kia ora, good evening. Extra police have been called in to investigate a deadly, unexplained fire in Dunedin this morning.
2 people were killed in the blaze and a 3rd person was helped from the burning house by a neighbour. Reporter John McKenzie spoke to residents at the scene.
It was the most unwelcome of early morning wake-up calls.
My dog woke me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she...
John McKenzie, One News.
And police in Auckland are investigating 4 suspicious fires at a building still being constructed. More than 50 firefighters were called to Albert Street in the CBD when 4 separate fires broke out in this apartment block several stories apart. The building's been under construction for more than a year and was just 1 month from completion. Officials aren't ruling out arson.
A man's tonight in a critical condition after being stabbed at a home in the Christchurch suburb of Riccarton. Emergency services were called to an assault and a fire at around the same time, 1 o'clock. Neighbours say they didn't realise anything had happened until police cars arrived. Police say they're speaking to a woman about the stabbing.
Move over Auckland, Tauranga's taken over. A new global report's found houses in the Bay of Plenty City are the least affordable in the country.
And according to the co-author of the Housing Affordability Research, Tauranga is in a crisis situation. As Sam Kawe reports from there, some locals are looking for a home. They may be forced out of the city.
Jade Berger and her husband have been
Overseas, in Turkey's military operation against Kurdish rebels within Syria continues, further fueling tensions with America. The lie of the land first, Turkish tanks and ground troops have now crossed into the border into this area, Afrin, in northwestern Syria, following intense airstrikes. Their target? The Kurdish militia group known as YPG, which controls the region. Turkey considers YPG a terrorist army, but here is the catch. The group is backed and trained and armed by the US, which sees it as a crucial partner in the fight against ISIS. These guys are a common enemy for all involved. The BBC's Mark Lowen reports from the Turkish-Syrian border.
As if Syria needed more is only just beginning.
But Turkey's president has vowed that the campaign would be over in a short time and also warned Kurdish political activists in Turkey against staging any further protests.
The US government's heading into its 3rd day of shutdown after senators failed to agree on budget concessions to get it reopened. Republicans and Democrats are arguing over funding.
Republicans.
And the midterm elections are due to be held in November. Later in the news hour, protest and defiance from Hollywood as women speak out at the latest star-studded movie awards. The Ministry of Health is investigating a 2nd case of toxic shock syndrome within a week that's possibly linked to tampons. It follows Waikato teenager Chloe Jordan being admitted to intensive care a week ago with the condition. She was discharged today. Now a 15-year-old girl from the South Island's been hospitalised. Her family say she's stable and recovering. The same brand of tampons are thought to be behind both cases. The maker, Kotex, says the situation's very concerning and the company's working with the families involved. The person critically injured at an out-of-control party in Auckland over the weekend is now in a serious but stable condition. Police are continuing their investigation into 2 brawls in the suburb of Panmure, which they now believe are connected. 2 people were hospitalised when they were hit by a car on Saturday. Another 2 were stabbed on Sunday. Police are appealing for information and have increased patrols in the area.
Well, still to come, a terrifying escape from an attack. Desperate guests risk their lives to flee a Taliban assault on a heavily guarded luxury hotel in the Afghan capital. And flooding hits parts of the UK as temperatures plummet. We look at the areas hardest hit and how it's disrupting transport, plus what the forecasters are predicting. And after a blackout at the Golden Globes, colour returns to the red carpet in Hollywood as the awards season celebrates the achievements of some big names in the acting world.
A deadly hotel siege in the Afghan capital Kabul has ended after a 13-hour battle between the Taliban and Afghan forces. At least 18 people were killed, most of them foreigners. With more, here's ABC's Jennifer Eccleston.
New images.
And that -14 in northern Scotland was the coldest temperature recorded in the UK for 2 years. Well, Dan joins us now with our weather and a fairly cloudy day, very different, of course, to the UK, but also pretty warm.
Exactly, and that's been the trend. It's been so warm, and probably you've been outside through the day, that sort of feeling, and many scenes like that, the grey skies. It's all the humid air that's been streaming down from the subtropics. Have a look at it, just working its way, and there's been spells of rain. There is a lot more. Notice the lumps here spreading into the upper north. But of course, with that northerly flow, it's been on the warm side. Check out the temperatures down south. Alexandra, one of the warm spots, 29, elsewhere into the 20s. And the North Island too, it wasn't just Alexandra, east of the North Island. Look at that for Napier and Hastings, also 29. We get our way further north. A lot of cloud, but temperatures mild. The coldest, believe it or not, was only 20 for the country. Auckland there sitting at 26. Most of our main centres are cloudy, our grey, wet weather coming into the north, but one particular camera, of course, this is Wellington, where you've got some sunshine. You aren't looking too bad here. Fairly pleasant. Temperatures here, 23, you're dropping down to 19, looking fine, of course, and a really decent looking weather overall. What's going to be happening over the next 24 hours? We've got that rain spreading in, some heavy rain. That sets the scene for tomorrow. I think raincoats for quite a few of us, with details coming up after sport.
All right, summer's gone away for a little bit. Thanks, Dan. Well, is this a sign for the Oscars, the Kiwi connection behind this award winner?
And the actor goes to Gary Oldman for The Darkest Hour.
And why this Aussie tennis bad boys turned into a fan favourite overnight. Welcome back to recapping tonight's top stories. An investigation's underway after 2 people died in an unexplained house fire in Dunedin early this morning. The fire engulfed this home in South Dunedin. An elderly man living in a separate unit was able to escape after being helped by a neighbour. Plus, Turkish ground troops entered northern Syria as part of their offensive against the Kurdish militia known as YPG. Turkey's president is vowing to crush the militia, which Turkey regards as terrorists. But the Kurdish group says it's repelled Turkish troops and retaliated with rocket fire.
Auckland Council is cracking down on property developers, issuing fines to those polluting waterways and leaving rubbish. One street in East Auckland was targeted today, with 13 of the 15 building sites failing to meet environmental standards. Paul Hobbs reports.
Than ever. Lisette Raymer, One News.
All right, Andrew joins us for sport now. The Black Caps switch into T20 mode.
It's Pakistan and Wellington. Whitty, looks like their winning run will continue. We'll have the latest from the capital next as Pakistan's tour continues to produce the bizarre, while the Australians' one-day form is also becoming a complete head-scratcher. Plus, a New Zealander makes the Aussie Open quarterfinals. There's plenty of drama in today's NFL playoffs. And 20 years in the making, we have a story of true Kiwi persistence. First up tonight to cricket, and the Black Caps should keep their impressive unbeaten streak alive after Pakistan put on a dismal batting display in their first T20 game today in Wellington. Just when we thought, I think he'll survive. Just back to the cricket. A moment ago, 88 for 3, Colin Munro on 46. The Black Caps chasing 106 for yet another victory.
Oh, all right. Thanks very much,
Sam. Great run.
Yeah. Coming up, Dan is back with another soggy but warm forecast. He'll tell you who gets what right after the break.
There's nothing.
Hello, the weather tonight and tomorrow is a bit like a second go at the buffet table. Remember that low from last week? It is coming back with another burst and some rain. Of course, when you get colours like that in the morning, you know that is something up. Of course, red sky and morning means a bit of warning. That is it. The stream of moisture coming from the subtropics, the same upper low, just piping it all the way in. We've got a severe thunderstorm watch for the far north of the country, a collection of fronts, but also a watch for rain. And it's really northern areas, parts from Taranaki all the way east to Bay of Plenty. So it's going to be one of those soggy sorts of nights and through the day as well as the whole mass of moisture works its way through. You can pick up the first area blue. That is it, moving across the far north, spreading south, and then with the heating of the day, converging winds across the central plateau, showers and storms. Whereas for the South Island, we've had that weak front fade away. Your day is pretty good. We just bring in a bit of moisture into the far south and west Fiordland there, but everywhere else you're looking pretty good and decent. Here's the North Island close up, so you can already see it. Outbreaks of rain, heavy at times, some downpours, some of them thundery. That spreads its way south. The only spot that really avoids some of that is the lower North Island, parts of Wellington, well, southern coast of Wairarapa. You're otherwise okay, but that is it. That sets in. Slightly improved to the north and the west through the afternoon and evening. To the South Island, there's a little bit of cloud up the east coast to start the day. West coast will have some morning cloud. Remember that front, warm front, does bring in some wet weather here, and just the risk, you might just notice it, that odd inland shower to coastal parts of Otago, but for many it is fine, it is dry. The one thing you'll notice as well, we've been talking about it last couple of days, is the heat. Look at Alexandra tomorrow, 34. Otherwise some morning cloud. It is a fine day. Odd little bubble of cloud to some eastern areas. The west coast is mainly to Milford Sound where we see that risk for some showers, 24. Everywhere else after any early cloud you're fine. You're bringing a bit more cloud to southern parts of Westland by the end of the day, but okay for the most part. Here's the east of the South Island. It's a morning cloud, get rid of that, boom, it's gone. A decent day. Check out the temperatures too. 30 degrees to Ashburton, of course, those warm northerlies the reason why. To the east of the North Island, we're looking at some showers through the day, the same lump of moisture that spreads its way through. That won't stop the temperatures. It'll be a warm one too, upper 20s, even around 30. We'll see, otherwise, the risk for a few spots of rain from many areas to start the day, but it's more likely rain, possibly some heavy thundery ones to place like New Plymouth. Some good rain, the chance here. Everywhere else you're seeing those showers, but staying dry and fine to Wellington and 25. Here's the central plateau to the Bay of Plenty. The rain will be with you as you start the morning. It'll be there in the afternoon. Could be some heavy, perhaps thundery downpours to many spots, and you'll be seeing temperatures into the mid to upper 20s. And hang on to your hats and just bear it in mind for the morning commute. It'll be a soggy one with the outbreaks of rain. These are thundery at times through the course of the morning. Slightly drier, brighter by the time you go into the late afternoon and evening, but it will be certainly a soggy one. Here's how we shape up then in Dunedin. You're looking pretty good. It's just the morning cloud, a little bit of bubble up of cloud inland, and check out the temperature, Mosgiel, 32. Dunedin will finish at 28. Heading our way north to Christchurch, we're looking pretty good too. Of course, just morning cloud, brighten up the skies. You are in fine shape here. And Wellington, not a bad looking day like you saw today. Morning cloud, rest of the day is fine. It is good into the middle 20s. And looking, well, there you go. That's the story in Hamilton. Watch the outbreaks of rain. These could be heavy, these could be thundery, easing back slowly by the evening. And for Tauranga as well, you will see outbreaks of rain, could be heavy, perhaps thundery, and 25. And the same sort of thing to Auckland. Rain coming in overnight. One of those noisy nights. That is easing back slowly by the late afternoon as you finish off. How about the next couple of days? Anything cooler? Well, we keep the flow from the north. That front does slowly fade away, getting our way into the course of Wednesday. Things are improving, though, looking pretty good, and that will be the trend. High pressure slowly starts to build, and we put more sun on the map. Converging winds to the inland give us some showers to some inland spots, but it's a decent end to the week overall. This is Friday, little wiggle of a front down south, but over fine. Many looking warm as well. We'll be seeing lots of 30s on the map, and 30s, a few more there to Australia, 36 tomorrow to Canberra, and the southwest Pacific. It looks a bit wet to the east. The Cook Islands seeing some showers, and looking otherwise fine towards some westerners. So that's how the weather is looking. It'll be quite wet for some of us tomorrow. Of course, we keep talking about that heat.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dan. We are certainly feeling it. Hey, looks like you're really enjoying the video wall. Great for the weather graphics.
Yeah, come on over and join me, you know. Yeah, it's a fresh outlook, and, you know, we have a lot more in the way of whiz-bang coming in the next few weeks.
That's right, looking forward to it. Well, that is a New Look 1 News for this Monday.
Yes, and it's the first time we've been able to show you our giant high-tech screen here, and it's all about you, our viewers.
And it's designed to help One News tell and explain our stories even better to you guys at home in what, as we all know, is a fast-changing media landscape.
And as Dan mentioned, it's only going to get better.
Oh, yes, indeed. We'll soon be rolling out augmented reality, 3D elements on the NewsHour. That'll be a first for New Zealand, and it's a stunning visual tool that'll enhance your news watching experience even more.
From us and all the hard-working team behind us, good night.
All right.